Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. December 10th at 5 minutes after 7, the Planning Commission for the Woodland Hills City. We'll call it to order. Ask Larry Henry if you would talk for the invocation, and following that, John, if you'd lead us in the pledge.
Our Heavenly Father, we call upon Thee in prayer this evening as we begin this Woodland Hills Planning Commission meeting. Grateful for the opportunity we have to deal with the challenges and opportunities in our community. Grateful for this community, grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Grateful for good friends and neighbors. Pray that we might be able to understand the information that we discussed tonight, that we might make sound and good decisions for the community. And this we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Would you like to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome those of you in attendance. We have Brian Hutchins with the council, and is it David, right?
Yes.
Simpson, and Nate Carson with us, who have business before the commission tonight. So next on the agenda is number 5, the approval of October 15, 2025 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Been done and sent out to you. I didn't get any responses of corrections that need to be made.
Good.
I'll take a motion on the minutes.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, Larry, a motion to approve them, and John second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, item number 6 is a zone change being requested by the Underwoods. And their property is located adjacent to the Carson property. Just as a reminder, the Carson property was rezoned a couple of months ago to R119. And the Underwoods have had communication with the Carson Group about joining their property with the Carson Group and having one subdivision, but doing it in phase. And so preparatory to that, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, they need to rezone that property. So what you have before you is a letter from Underwood saying that the Carsons have authority to request this rezone. They're in a partnership in going forward with this with the subdivision. So I'll turn it over to Nate. You want to explain a little bit, give us a little bit of detail on.
Yeah, like Wayne was saying, we started with old Garrick property, rezoned that property and plans to subdivide that. And we're approached by the Underwoods to jump in on that development. As we went through, the different phasing and parts of it, it really, I think, is beneficial to all parties. One of the big things as we went through city council and planning meeting was the access onto Woodland Hills Drive. And this allows, to maintain just those 2 access points, but also develop the other portion of the Underwood property in gaining was an extra 5 lots. But just having those 2 points of access, very similar size lots is what we did with the Garrick property. By doing this, it made actually those a little bit larger than what we'd initially proposed with the Garricks, because we didn't have that cul-de-sac taking out some of that property. So very clean, type of subdivision, pulling them both together, but very similar to what we proposed initially with the Garrett property.
So what lots, I'm looking at the back map, it has 12 lots, is that correct?
So the new piece is this.
Okay,
This one's already been rezoned.
thank you. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are new properties.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
9 through 14.
And their size is,
They range from 1 acre, 1.02 to 0.74
okay, 3/4 to
to an acre.
Yeah.
Yep.
an acre.
Now, even though you're requesting a R119 zone, are you willing to keep those zones, the size of those lots as you're showing in your proposed subdivision?
Yeah, and we've worked through with Atlas Engineering and got to the point of getting really close to like a final plat type. So I mean, this is very accurate. So yeah, even though it's a R119, just because of what R119 is, we'll maintain this this size of lot. So that 0.74 is actually the smallest lot out of everything of all 14 lots. Like I said, the Garrick pieces, put larger. We did have one that was like a 3/4, but because of the way the road worked, that is actually the smallest lot. So that 3/4 will be the smallest lot.
And you all agreed to do that with the Gare property, the same
Yes,
thing?
yep, same type of
It's
idea.
just continuing
It's a
that,
continuation, yeah.
thing, so,
Yep.
okay.
Well, I really like the idea of just having those 2 lanes open onto Woodland Hills Drive.
Yeah,
And it looks like it spreads them out
It
too.
does.
It's a
Yeah,
big-
it makes it so it isn't
big
quite
plus.
so tight, doesn't island the actual existing home with the Garrick home. Yeah.
And it actually helps the house lot to not have surrounded by 4 roads all the way around it. So I think it makes that house more sellable, especially to access the driveway onto our proposed roads.
It looks.
share a little bit, if you would, it doesn't really directly pertain to the rezone, but how you propose to go ahead with the subdivision improvements and work on it. I think the council or the planning commission would be interested in how you've worked that out with the Underwoods to move forward with
Yeah,
that.
the Underwoods, I mean, they have a lot of interest their plan is to actually move here. So they didn't want to sell everything because he would like to move and build a home. And so they're invested in the development personally. But we've gone through and worked with them. We'll do all the work and we're just going to be able to trade a lot for the work and maintain that same level of what we've been doing with the Garricks.
So we'll improve the roadways, and it will be recorded in the first recording of our phase. Will record the full road and all of the improvements will be put in. And then when the Underwoods come in, they will phase the second phase, and that's probably when they'll start building.
Okay,
So it'll be a 2-phase subdivision.
all right.
But in our first phase, access will be completed onto Woodland Hill Drive with the 2 accesses.
You'll be doing the road and the Underwoods will, I understand it, there's talking about them giving you a lot, one of their lots in exchange for the work, the improvements that you're going to be doing through their
Correct.
property.
Yep.
So
Now, that property, wasn't it 2 or 3 years ago that we rezoned it from
it was
an R2 to an
an R1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'd
at
say-
that time, we were going to allow for 4 properties, is that correct?
I don't remember.
I
You may be
think
right.
that was with the cul-de-sac,
Yes.
cul-de-sac in the back.
Right. Yeah, that way they could, 'cause they wanted to divide it among our 4 kids, as I remember,
Yeah,
so. Okay,
Yeah, and the kids have been involved with us in clearing brush and stuff so far. So I think they may still be building on theirs, but it's, instead of 4 lots, it's 6, but I think it's only 1 access
right,
for that property. So we sort of put our brakes on because we were approved. I think we were approved with the subdivision we had, but it's best for everybody involved, including the city. So we thought we'd.
I like this reorganization where you're maintaining that current house. I think it looks
Sounds
pretty
so long.
good.
Yeah, you know, it's, as I understand it, it's a very dated home. And so whether, I mean, it potentially will be torn down, even if somebody buys it on, as it
Sure,
is,
Sure.
because it doesn't have any central heating. There's baseboard heating in it from what I understand, and it's got old, it's just an older home. So whether somebody would be interested in it, I don't know, that they may buy it, tear it down and put a
Sure.
home on it. And that's of course up to them. They want to do that. I know they're in the process now of working on the final plat subdivision with gathering all the information for that and bring it forward to us for review and approval.
And are most of these lots level enough that the building envelope or whatever we call it is not?
Yeah, I don't think that will be a real problem like some of the other parts of the city.
Slopes on it.
There's slight slope with everything, which, I mean, as far as lot value creates, a nice view looking at,
Sure.
but not enough slope that there's gonna be a problem with the envelope or
Well,
anything like that.
sometimes a little bit of slope is really good
It is,
for
yeah.
a basement or
Yep. mhm.
whatever.
Woodland Hills flat. So these lots 1 and 13 and 14, they'll access from the new road, right? Not on
Yes.
Woodland Hills.
Yeah, they'll front on the new road. And we can put a stipulation in the approval of them that they front, so that if someone comes, they can't.
Couldn't access
They
off Woodland
couldn't,
Hills.
yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
rear.
Yeah.
Well, when you do the subdivision plat, that will be part of that process. So
Yeah.
that will be the.
Which
way
is
the
logical.
Lots
I
are
mean,
laid out.
Yeah.
Along with the acreage, the
Correct.
stipulation that we had on ours.
Yeah, and that's critical for our meeting tonight with the zoning, because we would entertain that particular square footage of the lot, even though it's an R119 zone. Now, the process is that we'll take a vote on that, and then that vote and recommendation goes to the city council, and they're the actual ones who will give the approval. And most of the time, not all the time, most of the time they follow our recommendation. But anyway, I don't see any issues here that would, they've already approved yours, and
Yeah.
so really,
It feels like repeat here,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, exactly. So,
I think this is better.
it is.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
yeah, yeah. Any other questions that any of you have for anyone?
I think it's an
I'll make a motion to approve 350 South Woodland Hills Drive, the property that is currently R1, to rezone it to R119.
Okay,
I'll second
is
that.
there a second? Simon, second? All in favor? Aye. Any, did I hear you, Larry?
I said I.
Oh, okay. Any opposed? Very good. Our recommendation then to the council will be approval. Next time they meet will be the January meeting, so I know it's a ways away, but anyway.
Okay.
So
Thank you, guys.
we'll be in touch with you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Enjoy the fall weather.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay, next thing I want to kind of review with you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. About the mailboxes and kind of where we're at here. John, I've asked John to kind of work initially to represent kind of the planning commission as Three Bridges was moving forward and developing, and that's still the case. And I'm John and I kind of working together on, at this point in time, with Three Bridges on the mailbox. Just a reminder that Three Bridges has agreed to relocate our mailboxes in exchange for, and some redesign in exchange for using our property there where the mailboxes are as one of the road access into their development. So we've been exploring those issues. We've contacted an architect who John's dealt with in the past and gotten an estimate from him as to what the cost would be to Three Bridges for design and putting detailed construction drawings together and so I've gathered information from anybody who wants to provide it, and we put that list together for the architect, and based on that, and he came down here. He lives in Saratoga, and he came down here with John and I and looked at the mailboxes where they are now, and we took him over to Summit Creek, and he looked at that facility. The look of it and everything, we thought that would be appealing to have something along those lines here. So we've gotten an estimate from him. John and I met with Three Bridges today to talk to them about that. I had a couple of weeks ago, I provided his estimate to them since they're going to be paying for everything. And we met today with the Three Bridges representative. It's a good meeting. We clarified some things for him about the drawings and the process and so forth. He's going to be taking that back then to Larry Mylar, who's the main point of contact with Three Bridges on the development. Before this morning, Jody and Ted and I were just kind of having a general discussion about it. And Jody said, one thing we haven't explored is having the mailboxes here somewhere at the city center, around the city center. And so as we got talking about that and thinking about it, we wondered if there would be enough room on the east side of the city center here to relocate these our post office boxes. There'd have to be parking that would be removed, but seldom is that ever used over there. And a few other modifications and so forth. So we presented that as an alternative to Three Bridges. And they're going to explore that a little bit and come back to us with a little bit of conceptual drawing like they've done here for down of where the original location was thought that we would have. And so they're going to put something together and then come back to us and talk to us about that. So there's some advantages to having it here. There's a restroom available for post office, the post for the lady delivering the mail to us. Water's readily available. It's already here. It's kind of a central location, although the people on the north end of our city might have a little bit of objection to it because it'll be a little bit further away from them
But we don't have that many people down there, do we?
well, I'm talking about people below
Right.
below us. So there's a whole
I guess.
farmland down there yet to be done, but
Right.
the people who are there already, they may have a little bit of objection to it.
That's
So
right.
anyway, that they're looking at that and seeing, and we explained to them some of the detail that John and I had met with a postmaster down in Salem and got some ideas from him. And I met with the lady who delivers the mail and got some ideas from her and kind of put those together. And the reason just a reminder, the Planning Commission has been kind of given the responsibility to oversee all of that. So I will periodically be bringing, as things develop, to the commission and keep you informed and likely involve you in some of the processes here like John is doing or participating in. So The county is moving forward on the roundabout. They're in the process of trying to purchase some additional property around the roundabout to enlarge it.
So maybe talking with the church and the property owners.
Yes. Yeah. And they're wanting to get, even though they may not have a complete build out right now,
They want
they're
to,
looking to the future. They want to acquire the property now so that they've got it when the time comes. So I don't know how that process is going. They hope to be able to have enough of information on their end, including the property purchases, if not done, committed to by March. Because they wanted to go out with an RFP in March for the construction work on the roads to start that process.
so they would take how much from Woodland Hills that is now on the post office? That looks like a
They
pretty
would-
kind of chunk.
that would be that would be a road that goes back.
Right,
The post office would be removed, and there'd be an in and out road, as well as the plan with that was a middle road to access where the post office boxes will be.
and a turn lane or just?
Yes, yeah. The concern is, right now, it would be fine,
That's on your second page, there's a little.
but when we get 700 more homes
Right,
in there, then it's gonna get, it could get very crowded. So that's one of the concerns, and thought of moving it up here, then in the long run, this would be a preferable location than down there with all the
with
traffic.
those new home, won't some of those, or a percentage of them be in Summit Creek and use that facility?
No,
Oh,
no, this is all Salem, except for the part that was farmed, that was the lower topography land down there, just off the hill.
uh-huh,
That's our city. That's part of our city.
right, down to the home.
And
Well, there are 4 homes down there that,
well, the home,
Property.
there's a couple homes up on top. There's no homes down,
right,
but they, Three Bridges plans on putting homes in there down. So that will be part of our city. And so their subdivision's gonna be split. The major part of it will be in Salem,
right.
but part of it will be in our city.
And they're planning on maybe doing a 2 or 3, 4 type of a building, apartments, or have they said yet what they're doing?
I think they're gonna be individual, small homes down there, studio type maybe homes.
We've agreed to rezone at a much higher rate in the city for that as part of this agreement.
Yeah.
A higher density,
Higher density.
Yes.
so it would be.
There may be 6 to an acre, something like that. So there may be groups of,
Will R119 cover that? It won't, will it?
we'll have to put together
A
a
new zone.
new zone. Yeah, when that time comes. That's part of the agreement that we
Actually,
have with them.
though, for the state monitoring affordable housing,
That's one of the benefits that we looked at. You're absolutely right. It's one of the benefits, and it keeps that in Woodland Hills. That's part of the agreement that they don't annex. There was a lot of give and take with this, with that agreement. If you've ever read through the agreement that was made, I really think the city came out on top with this. I think that they are going above and beyond. And this, if I'm not mistaken, Wayne, that is the last phase of their development is in that area. right?
Yes, yeah.
So everybody's worries about things that could happen in the future.
Most of us won't be here.
We won't care anymore.
There's a lot with water issues also.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they've agreed, they're gonna build us a new water tank
Uh-huh.
and probably be over $1 million.
Right.
And so there's like Brian said, there's been a lot of give and take with all of this and working together with them and doing things that benefit them and benefit the city and so forth. So it's a little bit of a moving target as we move forward with it, but so far the relationships have been good and with it little things to work out here and there, but we've been able to do that. So that's kind of the background and kind of where we're at with the post office boxes.
So are they just going to have the one road down off the hill as an access for part of their property, and then this post office road will access?
There's 3 accesses,
Oh,
and they all 3 go over bridges, and hence the name 3 Bridges.
oh,
So they'll have 2 up in Salem, and then our access here to kind of the homes on this side. Where
are they still thinking of doing other access roads?
This will be the only one they're planning on Woodland Hills Drive.
Okay, so that would ease all of the people along that boundary.
The other one's off of, what is that, 9600 or whatever that road is
the
that,
Powerhouse Road,
not Powerhouse.
or no, it's one bit. Yeah, it's
The
before.
one right just down.
Before that, yeah.
The house is being built down there, that.
But
Right,
I think there might be one off. No, I'm not sure now. Off of Powerhouse, but I know all those other new homes. That's access up there.
That's DR
But,
Homes.
Yeah, but there'll be 3 accesses
Okay.
into the property. So, any questions?
and do you remember offhand how many homes, residents?
They're talking about, I think, around 700
Wow,
total. So. And from what I understand, however they're phasing it, their first phase is reservations already done. They can't sell them because they don't have the infrastructure yet, but they've taken reserve money on the properties, and they're doing well from what report that we get.
They seem they've done all their reports and they're moving ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how solvent they were, but I spent a couple days with them over there and I think they're gonna pull it off.
I do too. I really think, I was very skeptical at first, but I think that it's gonna happen.
Biggest thing, like, cause they were wondering if I wanted to buy some lots, so we kind of walked through that and like, well, you're just trying to get some money so you can get this thing done, you know, so what does it look like? No, yeah, right now just deposit a few $1,000 a lot, and then once we get like utilities in, you can pay for the utilities, then once we get roads in, so they call it the flow fund, and we'll just kind of do it as it gets done, and I'm like, well, doesn't sound like a desperate developer situation to me, like, yeah, so it seemed, yeah, they're gonna pull it off.
Takes time to do it and things,
I think
so.
they're gonna do it.
Well, I've heard in public comment, Larry Mylar said that they own the property. It's not mortgaged. So that's a big step,
That's a big step.
you know, for a
That's
developer.
probably why they're able to do that with you.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
a massive investment already done. You can look at the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just well,
They've spent millions.
they've cut all but I think 3 holes are actually formed, even though they're not opening them yet.
For their lakes, yeah.
Yep, so it's
Yeah, moving forward.
should be a pretty nice little spot.
So. Very good. Well, we'll have periodic reports here and things, so.
what is the status of our Maple Canyon water? Is there any relation of that to this? or-
Yes. We are probably going to be giving up our percent ownership in the Maple Canyon well,
Tank.
and Salem will take that.
Just the tank.
The tank.
Just the tank, not the water, the storage.
And in exchange, they're helping us build a 850 gallon water tank, which will
850,000.
replace our one and add capacity to it.
Okay,
So they're building that for us.
And last night they talked about it's gonna be up by the other tank up.
Correct. We just approved last night the spend to do the design work.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a little bit on the design side of it and then they're gonna pay us back for that, so.
Is that probably going to be north of the existing tank up there?
I think northeast-ish.
A little bit closer to the
Yeah.
mountain.
I believe. You'd have to ask Ted to be sure. He's been working with the geologists and everything else up there. But there's
Yeah.
some.
I'm not sure it's been exactly pinpointed yet, because they're still doing some studies and things up there as far as tank placement.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you're closer to that mountain, there's a little bit of shifting.
Well, that's
Yeah, they-
one thing they're gonna look
You
at
have to
for
look at
sure.
that fault line, right? That's gotta be part of it. But this tank will actually exceed our city's build out.
Okay,
Based on the
projections.
projections that we have for the city.
Yeah.
So it'll far exceed that, and maintain our firefighting capabilities and everything else. So it's a huge win for us. Yeah, I think.
Okay, anything else on that? All right. Next, item 8 is a lighting ordinance. You've got a copy there of what is considering to be proposed. It's kind of updating our own ordinance with, our ordinance has been kind of focused on the wattage of lights, talking about outside lighting. And we're adding a lumens element to that with advent of LED lights. Most of their lights are measured in lumens. And so part of this new ordinance is equating watt to lumen, so everybody kind of understands that association. Now, this kind of started probably more than a year ago in looking at dark skies, and had a group in the city who are very, and still are, interested in trying to promote that. But right now we're settling on night skies. Everybody likes the environment with trying to preserve the night as much as possible. So got the stargazers and everything else that comes with having a sky that people can look at and so forth. So that's kind of what this ordinance is a night skies issue. Now, down the road, it may lead to the city pursuing a dark sky designation, but right now it's not. And there's pros and cons with the dark skies issue with it, and we still don't have an exact reading on some of the do's and don'ts and what you're going to get fined for, or there's no fines involved. There's just kind of a mixture of information, but that's not critical right now. You'll see too, as you read, and we'll talk about it in a minute, the general plan. There previously was a whole section on dark skies and a movement to get a dark sky designation. That's been removed. But night skies is preserved in our general plan. The interest in trying to preserve a good night sky. So this new lighting ordinance, I draw your attention to the first the little paragraph in NA. It says any light source which exceeds 1,100 lumens equal to a 75-watt bulb incandescent or 13-watt LED must have its light source shielded. So you don't need to shield it if you're below those lumens or wattage. And I think most house lights on the outside, so forth, are below that. With dark skies, there's a requirement that they be, but or who knows what. We're still trying to get that straight. But with this, it's an ordinance. So, but if you've got under 75-watt or 13-watt LED, then you're compliant.
At or below.
Below, well,
It says.
It says-
75. It
any light source which exceeds
exceeds,
that.
so it could
So
be
it could be
75
at.
or below.
Yeah. That's what I tried to clarify a little bit with A. It says the lighting element itself, not the light, is not visible outside of the lot that it's on, and lighting fixtures must be fully shielded if the light source is greater than 75 watts incandescent or 13 watts LED. So if they're below that, then they don't have to be fully shielded. So those are some concessions that we've put in here to make it a little bit more acceptable in the standard. Now, we already talked about shielded lighting in our existing light code. So this is just clarifying the wattage and have a better understanding of what the criteria is. And even though our development and construction standards say all of our utilities are underground, they wanted the people who are promoting this, and I don't have a problem with it. And D, no street light shall be erected on city streets. And again, it's to preserve the darkness of the community. And there's a provision here for security to have lights on. They wanted to have a curfew, and I took that out. I don't know what the council will do, if they'll put it back in, but I didn't feel it was appropriate to have a light curfew regardless of what kind of light you had. In other words, your house kind of had to go dark. And you got people coming home at night, shift work or whatever, getting the mail late. And I just felt that it did allow for lights to be on city buildings for security. And a home can still have that, but I took the issue out with the curfew on it.
Do we have,
I want to ask you, is there any objection to that?
The curfew, removing it?
Do you feel that there should be a curfew on turning lights out?
No, I think it makes sense for safety reasons especially, and yeah, it could be an issue for some people.
I thought if a dad comes home late at night and wants to go out and play a little basketball with his kid in the backyard, if it's a curfew, can't do it.
Right.
So we preserve that and as well as security issues. So did you have a question?
well, now, do we have lights at the post office?
We do,
We have lights here at the city building
we do.
and at the
Now, the
park,
post office, they're not shielded,
right?
but here they are.
Okay.
But we leave them on all night long.
And then the park,
I think they go off at the park.
They go off of the park.
okay,
They're on until I think 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I think that's.
And that's kind of a curfew
Yeah.
up there too with
And then what
that.
about the water tanks?
There's lights on there for security all night.
And are they shielded or just
No,
open?
some might be, but some, we've gotten a few complaints saying, got a new star in the sky. I guess it's pretty bright.
That's a complaint?
Yeah.
They're looking at the
Yeah.
stars. It
Yeah.
should be, hey, we got a new one. Sweet constellation.
Disappears in the day. Believe it or not. Anyway, that's how serious some of these people are about it.
Can I play?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'm not arguing one side or the other.
No, go ahead.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So as far as the curfew goes, typically those curfews are, if you have sports lighting, say you talked about going out and playing basketball, you can have those lights on after the curfew. But they have to be, they typically says something like they gotta turn off within 30 or 45 minutes after those activities end. And then motion lights, which is what I use at my house, because I actually like the dark. The motion lights help. I've got multiple motion lights at my house that turn on when I pull in. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. We could say that those, sport lighting and outdoor lighting for activities can extend past that curfew time, but must be on a timer. That's where some of them come, that's a recommendation from Dark Skies. They gotta be on a timer, and then they have to shut off 30 or 45 minutes after the activities end. That's why the timer's there. So that you're not polluting, your neighbors. There's a lot of people that get neighbors' lights in there. One of the things I love about here, I don't look up at the mountain, I actually look down at the valley, and I like the lights down there, but I don't want them here.
Yeah.
So I love seeing it down there and don't like seeing it here. And I use the motion lights, even though I've got lighting on the house, I use the motion lights almost exclusively. That's just how I prefer to do it. But I'm really not for making, really like, property owners' rights.
Yes.
But the community, there has been some, now we take the survey with a grain of salt, right? Because it wasn't the whole city that responded to that. So when we say 30-something% were strongly for something, that's not 30% of the city. That's 30% of respondents.
Yeah.
So we do have to take that a little bit with a grain
And the question was, are you for dark skies?
Yes.
Dark skies is a very general question. I've dealt with cities all over this country in this type of stuff, and that is a loaded question.
It is.
So, of course, my house, I like dark skies too. And at night, I like it just to be pitch black and
Quiet.
done. It's one of the reasons I moved here, right? But this can be a can of worms.
It can be. I don't, and as I've dug into dark skies and stuff like that, I've found lots of ones. I've been sending out emails to the whole city council and Wayne and everybody else. I've sent things to Sherry and the PTR with questions that I want answers to. I won't vote anyway other than that. But right now, and there was kind of a renewed effort when we had the Aurora that came through. And I guess we could have another one tonight. I don't know if you guys know that. Photograph capable Aurora tonight again. That let's quit fighting and just preserve what we got, because we've got a great dark sky, right? So is there a way that we can ensure that? We had a candidate running for mayor this time who told everybody he was going to put streetlights up. No, I think most of the city and most of the citizens I've talked to, the residents, are absolutely against streetlights. So I would like to see something that says very specifically that our city has said, we don't want streetlights in this city. We want to preserve that part of Woodland Hills. Shielded, I've got unshielded. I'm going to have to, if this happens and we have to have shielded lights, I'm going to have to change bulbs or change fixtures on my house. I've got 4, 5, 6, without a doubt, that it would have to be changed if I turned them on, because they're not shielded. They've got tops, but they're not shielded that way.
Are they greater than 75 watt?
Actually, I'd have to check the bulbs. So I'd either have to check the bulbs.
Can you put a lower wattage
Put a
in it
little
and
wattage in and
not have to buy a new fixture? So that's some of the,
some of the
thing we're trying to-
that we're going
Yeah,
through here, right?
yeah,
There are both sides to this, right? And homeowners' rights, and then people, being preserving what we have. And it's a tough situation, and I appreciate you guys taking it on, because I've struggled with this for the last year.
well, it's gonna be in your lap pretty soon.
So I like the ideas of comparing lumens to the different, I think that's important.
That's helpful.
That's the proper way to do it.
I mean, because the LED lights, you can get them in so many different colors and so many different brightnesses. And they can be adjusted so much, it's amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, oh
My
yeah.
whole home is all LED, and I love them.
It's a white light, not a yellow light.
You can get yellow.
You can do
You can get
it.
yellow, you can get unbelievable
blue.
colors. Yeah, I mean, you really can. So I like the comparison on that. And I'm not against having dark skies at night. But I am 110% against any type of federal regulation that goes along with it.
This is outside agency.
Right.
Right.
You know what? I think everybody in the city likes it like that. I really do. But I don't think they'd like it if they had to come change every light on their house. I think you might have a fight, but I don't know. My house is already 100%. But
Wayne, can I make just one comment?
Sure, go ahead, Sherry.
I appreciate you guys, like Brian said, taking this on, and dark skies for me and for PTR and a lot of people in the community isn't just about lights. I heard color mentioned. If you use blue light, it's extremely detrimental to tree growth. And it also alters the feeding habits of nocturnal animals, i.e. cougars, anything that's going to eat anything at nighttime. They still think that it's daytime, and they'll go elsewhere, I guess, or die. Dark sky isn't just about lights being too bright. There's so much to it and so much information. PTR really would like to start educating the community so they have a choice. Right now, most people don't know about blue light and what it does. Anyway, that's my comment.
Okay, thank you. And I think as we look at writing ordinance, we try to strike a balance. I read one lighting ordinance from one city that was 16 pages long. And to me, that's too much government in my life, and so if we can strike a medium somewhere with some restrictions and that everybody can live with, and I think that's what we want to try to do. And some people don't realize that whatever we have today can be changed tomorrow, one way or the other. A new council can come and say, no, we're going to put streetlights up, we want streetlights. And so we have to realize that too. But I think if we can strike some balances with our ordinances, that's been my goal. And I didn't used to feel that way, but Brent, our mayor, he's been very sensitive to that. And it's caused me to be more sensitive. I'm kind of a slash and burn kind of person sometimes. And he's kind of educated me a little bit and have a little bit more compassion and grace and things. So, and I appreciate that because I think I needed that. So anyway, this is our kind of first going forward with it. And again, the council can do with it as they choose. I'm not sure, I think this may take a public hearing. Also, I need to check with Jody on that. And if it does, we'll have the public hearing in January on it. So we won't take a vote on it tonight, but this is kind of where we're headed with it. And we'll take a vote on it in January. So give you a chance to mull it and think through it. And if you think there's something that we should add or take away, then we can do that in our January meeting. So any other questions on that? Brian, any other comments?
No, it seemed simple to me before. And it's become a lot more complicated. And so think about, I think it's great that you're not voting on it today. That everybody will have a chance to go back, and I implore you to go back and really think about that. Think about your property rights and think about your neighbor shining light in your window. The one light down in the valley I dislike is the sports park down here when they turn all their lights on, and it's really bright in my house. It actually it's bright enough to cast shadows in my house. It's frustrating, but I've gotten used to it because I deal with that because I love the rest of it. It looks like my house looks like an airplane, someone going in for a landing, and because they're right down I-15, right? But think about, me as a council person, I also try to think about, I don't want government telling me everything I can and can't do. But how do we strike that balance? So I appreciate that, and I appreciate getting more heads into this and putting it's actually more complicated than it seems at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, very good. We'll go on to the general plan discussion. We've got a copy of the draft of the general plan that was prepared by the committee that's been working on this for 5 or 10 years. Anyway, I looked at a draft, it's probably 4 or 6 weeks ago, and I saw quite a few changes that I thought I would like to have made to it before it came to the planning commission. And the committee kind of took exception to that. And so I stopped my review of it, and I said, okay, you give us your draft and we'll go from there. So that's what they've done. There were things that I saw, some of it was just wrong in there. It wasn't I didn't like it. It was wrong. It needed to be replaced. And again, there was exception taken to that approach a little bit. So rather than create problems, I just said, fine, you go ahead and finish doing things and then give it to us when you're all done with it. So that's what this is. I don't anticipate them having any further involvement in the general plan other than when we're through with our review, then we will feed them back any changes that we feel should be made to it, things taken out, things added, formatting, whatever the case is, and they will do it. So, and then that's what will go to the city council. Now, of course, they have every right they'll have input, change this or change that, whatever they want to do. But I want them to get our final draft.
We're gonna get both.
That's up to you.
Yeah, we're gonna get both. We're actually gonna get their final draft as well as planning commission's final draft, so we can see them side by side. We've all requested that, so.
So I anticipate this probably taking, I don't know, 4 or 6 months for our review and for them to make the changes at the end and then come back to us with our document that we will give to the city council. So it just depends on how quickly we can go through it. We meet monthly, so I figured I don't know, we'll have to see how our review goes, how quickly we can do it, how many changes, if any, that we're gonna recommend to, but I'm gonna save all those changes till the end, so I don't have a lot of back and forth with it. And whatever, all the changes, we'll have them identified, so they should be easy to make. And we'll give them back to the contract person who's doing it. However that committee wants to handle it, that'll be up to them. But they'll make those changes. And they won't come back to us and say, no, we want this left in. I've already got a commitment from them that they'll make whatever changes we ask them to make in it and give us then a new final document that we will pass on then to the city council. So I'm open to any thoughts that you have on how we want to proceed with the review. Just a couple of my thoughts. I thought of assigning sections to different ones on the planning commission to be focused on. They could certainly read anything they wanted and provide comment on any part they wanted to do. Or we just all do it all and devote some time each month to the changes primarily. That's what we want to be talking about. We've got the document, so if there's no changes to be made that anybody's recommending, we've all reviewed it, so there's no point in reviewing it further. So we'll be focused on additions or subtractions or formatting. And let me give you an example on formatting. I got in trouble with it a little bit. Anyway, take the introduction. It's section 1. Now you see out to the right-hand side, you see a page number. I'll say it in a minute. And also up the top, it's introduction. So it's clear what that is. But when you get over to page Page 8, well, 9 and 10. It's another section. But the page numbers are back in the corner of this document, not out on here where they're very easy to see. And I don't know, we'll have to decide how we want this bound. If you want it bound, you may not even see those. And the same thing with up at the top, the paragraph or the chapter title, it varies from being outside on the outside edge of the page to the inside. And
Should be consistent.
it should, and that's a point I made with them, and it wasn't taken in a corrective way. That's right. It's the way it is,
Really?
It's easy to change.
It's like basic publishing stuff.
I know. So that when I say formatting, that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm looking at. But there's maybe other format stuff that we want to look at. So anyway, I'm interested in your thoughts and comments on what you might think the best way to.
Well, to me, I'm thinking, if say John does a section and Larry does another one, regardless, the whole group's gonna have to discuss each of them anyway.
So we just do it.
Probably maybe just say, we'll just do this chunk now. If say we want to get done 4 months, we'll do a quarter at a time or 6 months, whatever. And then everybody's doing it, come back, same notes. It might be faster that way, I think.
To everybody to do it together and at the same time, so that we all come back having read sections 1, 2, and 3, and that's what we're gonna discuss tonight. And
Yep.
Then everybody's got their brain in the same spot. We can kind of bounce stuff off each other. And then
yeah,
instead we'd have to be like, okay, John, tell us what you think about this one. Get our brains there. And
and I had number 10, so let me share about number 10.
exactly, it would take forever.
Yeah, I think
So,
that'd be more organized way to do it.
okay, that sounds good to me. Um,
And this is the entire,
It is, yep, this is it. Everything. Now, you won't find any strategic plan here. They haven't included a strategic plan, but they're gonna be doing that starting in January, but it's a separate plan. It's not part of this. So it's not something we're gonna be reviewing. The council will, but it's not something that we have responsibility for. So, and I don't know why maybe it was for expediency. I mean, this has been in the works for a couple of years. And they chose not to take, usually the strategic plan, as I understand it, are the short-term goals to get you through the general plan. That we're looking, here's a general plan, here's what we overall want to accomplish, and here's a trail to that through the strategic plan. They're not doing, they've chosen not to do that. Now, in years, the strategic plan is a new thought idea with general plans. And it's not written into any state code, but a lot of cities have done strategic plans in concert with their general plan. And as I've looked at some of that, what we did before with general plans, we had elements of strategic plan in it, we didn't know it. I mean, it just came by that, yeah, this is a good idea, let's do that. So it wasn't identified as such, but I think that some of the short-term goals, and we may find that they've, in some instances, done the same thing. Each of these sections has a group of goals. And so those goals might be considered part of the strategic plan.
Sure.
So just keep that in mind. This committee is going to continue to work on things. There's money to do it that was part of this grant. So in January, they're going to meet and talk about strategic stuff.
So members of this group, are they all city residents or are they
Yes.
outside people?
They're all city residents,
Okay.
except for Daniel. He's the guy drafting the plan from the comments that are made in this committee. But the committee, I think all the committee are residents of the city. Carrie is the council person who works with this committee and helping give them direction or things when if that's needed. So, anyway, our vision is as broad as we want to make it as we focus. If you see things that you think need to be clarified, if you see something that in one way or another maybe didn't get addressed adequately, or maybe got left out somewhere, or that's superfluous, it really doesn't serve any purpose. I want us to look at all of that kind of thing. We want the thing that I told them working on this, I said, I wanted to use it. We haven't done a very effective job in the past of following our general plan. I don't think we've really got crosswise with it or way out of bounds, but we haven't used it to the degree that we probably should have in city planning. So that was the one thing I told them, this Daniel Jensen, that I wanted it something that we could work with, not just something that we do and sit it on the shelf and we got a general plan and we never look at it again. And that's happened a little bit in the past. So, and I think it's important for the council to have this guideline as well. I think that's one reason it comes from, we're mandated by state code. The Planning Commission is to, we can have help doing this, but it comes from us to the city council. So, again, in the city council, if they feel there's some other issues that they want to address, they're certainly welcome to do that with it. So the last one we had, I think was a very good one. We had an organization called MAG who helped us draft it. And it was a pretty good plan, I thought, but it's old, it's dated now. So it's past time that we should have a new one. So any questions that you have on?
If we started working on it.
Ryan, any thoughts, comments?
Yes, I've actually felt that our current general plan, and I've stated it, that kind of actually tied my hands. I had to vote a certain way, because there was some obligation in the city, in the general plan to a zoning. And not that I necessarily would have voted a different way, but I didn't. I felt like I was kind of tied to it. So this is important. This is important in the direction of the city of saying, this is how our vision is, and it means a lot. It really does. It's super important. I mean, and why it comes from, I mean, that's why you guys are commissioners and not just committee members, right? You guys actually hold a pretty big weight of authority in my mind in the city. So
Yeah.
that's why it comes from you.
And I think another thing, I mean, people move in and if they're upset about something happening with land or whatever, it's like, look, this is our plan, it's in there. And like you said, Wayne, if we're using it, we're saying, hey, they bring something to the commission and we're like, well, it matches what our plan is and you do it. You can't bring the pitchforks. It's like, well, it's the plan, you know?
Yeah.
I know it's a pretty field right now, but the plan is that we were gonna do this with it. And it does help. I think it simplifies a lot of stuff, especially at this level. Coming and changing the plan, going against the plan, it's like, that's an uphill battle, guys. Sorry, you know? I mean, if you have a really good reason, we might think about it for a minute, but usually, I mean, you have a good plan. Yeah, just, it's super helpful.
I know that the plan can be amended, you know, so during this 50-year period, you know, if we see, well, we really, you know, it's taken us in the wrong direction. We didn't want.
Yeah.
And okay, let's do a course correction and amend the plan. It would go through the same process that this would go through. And we will have, before we present it to the council, once we're done with it and have it, there will be a public hearing on it.
Which I think is, yeah, that's
chance
super
for
helpful.
the public
Totally. And there again, it just backs it up. And hey, we've had lots of public input and I'm seeing it in here. I love seeing the survey results on, hey, this is what I think. It's like, we didn't just come up with this and say tough. You know, we've really brought a lot of people in here to work on it. And, you know, you're not going to agree with everything, but I mean, this demonstrates a lot of effort to create something and make a beautiful city even better.
And it really can't help everyone.
You can.
It really can.
Yeah. But we've had some citizens come and be concerned with some of these R119 zone changes. And they reflect back on the general plan as they felt that it went against it. Now, I would take issue with that, but they've read that into this and they were, you know, well concerned that we were going against it. So we need to be careful that way and knowing what we know and kind of what the council's view. And I mean, they got 2 new council members now, so you may see a little bit of change in direction. A new mayor, he certainly sets a tone in a lot of areas. So.
And Steve, you guys know, as a builder, he's a general contractor, so he gets it. He gets
He does.
you guys. He gets that whole side of things. So it's a fantastic addition.
No, it is. It's good.
He's gonna be great.
I mean, then we all live here for the same reason. It's beautiful, it's quiet. Nobody wants to jeopardize that, you know, and we're only gonna have so many residents here and, you know, I think a couple little coffee shops down the corner might be nice and But, you know, I don't think we're really in jeopardy of ruining the city too much, you know, I mean, it's gonna stay pretty. We got the mountains up here and
Yeah,
am I pointing in the right direction?
we see, you know, the emphasis that the state is placing on affordable housing, moderate income housing. One answer to that is, you know, for smaller lots that aren't so expensive and
Well,
you know, we see people moving away from the city. And we don't want that, and for reasons of financial things, and we'd like to try to avoid that wherever possible, so.
You look at Park City, I mean, it's still beautiful and they have a lot of high density areas, a lot of high density
Yeah.
areas. And
But I would have to say that on my opinion, personal opinion, that's not from the council, just me personally. I think a lot of times we're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You know, these things that come from the state, is far, what I feel is far overreaching on housing. There's no such thing as affordable housing in Woodland Hills. It's not possible.
is there
You
affordable
can't
housing
buy-
in
You can't buy an
Utah?
acre for less than $250,000 in this city. It's just, there's no way to make it affordable. Unless you build a high rise, right? And then you don't have commuting and, I mean, it just doesn't work here. It just doesn't. And so we do have some square peg and round hole issues that I hate and it bothers me. But I think we try to do the best that we can, and if we ever come down on us, then we can say, this is the best that we've got. This is the best that fits what we can do.
Yep.
We're not even Spanish Fork. You see the new apartment buildings in Spanish Fork, right? And going across the street from there where the old arena was, is gonna be some more.
Yeah.
And they've got the ability to do that. We just don't. It's just not feasible up here.
No, I think.
One thing that we have done here is allowed apartments to be built on a lot, or accessory dwelling units to be built, you know, on a lot. If certain requirements are met, so those little things are, I think, important to be aware of, and I agree. I mean, and the state is pretty well defined the value, where affordable housing, the cost of it is pegged at, and it's, you know, salaries and average income and all this kind of stuff. So you're pretty locked into it, but I think we're doing what we can. And that's what's important, as we go along the way.
Yep.
So, okay, what should we, next time, should we plan on looking at 1, 2, and 3 and see how that goes time-wise, and then we, that'll help us. 3 will be, it's a lengthy one. But if there's really no changes to it, then it'll go fast. So let's do 1, 2, and 3 in January as part of our meeting then.
Let's do it.
We're gonna be losing Simon. Let you all be aware of that. He decided he wanted to be an actor for the rest of his life.
Meetings are gone, I'll be on stage.
See, I better get tickets to the next one.
He's got a new church calling and things that are gonna occupy his time a lot more, so he's asked. And his renewal this is last month. So this will be the last time he'll be here with us, and I say
just getting to know you, bud.
2 years
really
ago,
appreciate
like-
you, and you've brought a good perspective to things, and I really enjoyed having you on the planning commission and your participation, and you've come when you didn't need to as well, and value your comments then and everything for us, and you've been a good asset for us. We appreciate that.
I'll come, bring pitchforks. No, but it's been a pleasure. I spoke to Wayne on the phone about this too, and you know, it's not something I take lightly. I really do enjoy it. I love the city. I love being part of these discussions. I've enjoyed working with you guys on it. right now, you know, I've got kids kind of a couple out of the home, but a bunch still in and church stuff. And it does get a little hairy in the middle of the week and it's put a little bit of strain just on the family schedule, and doesn't seem to be getting any better. But 5 years from now, I mean, things will be a lot different. Like, you know what? I'll just hunker down at home a little bit more, and you know, time flies. I may be back. So, but it has been actually very gratifying and enjoyable. So, I'm not leaving for any reason like I don't like it. So it's been awesome. So
Good. Well, thank you again for everything.
Miss yours.
I thought he could go until he found his own replacement.
Well, he's working on that a little bit.
contributing to the conversation. Just need to
Yeah.
tell Severin he needs to be here more consistent.
Very good. Last thing is our schedule next year. Are all of you, does Wednesday, third Wednesday work?
Seems to work good.
I talked to, I haven't talked to Severin, but I talked to Lori and she said that's been working fine. So I'll confirm with Severin, but otherwise we'll continue with the same schedule, third Wednesday night that we had this year. It seems to work most of the time. And that's a clear night. This building's getting a lot of use with meetings and stuff down here too. So we've got that night reserved, and I think we can continue forward with it. Any things that anybody needs to bring up?
Looking forward to another new year.
Okay. Council's excited, I know, with the new council members and things, and the new mayor particularly. I know he's had a number of discussions with me, and he's trying to hit the ground running, and knows he's been the mayor pro tem also during these last couple of years, and so he's got a little bit of a feel for what being mayor is like and responsibilities with it. And there's a lot of things that are in the works too that have to be dealt with, and so there'll be a quick transition. But I have every confidence he's up to it, and things will continue to move forward. So,
Awesome.
very good. I'll take a motion to dismiss.
I'll make a motion to dismiss.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Very good. We're adjourned till January. Ryan, thanks for being here tonight.
I'm glad to actually be in person.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here.
What'd you do to your neck? I had spinal fusion. I've got some really bad nerves, and 3 weeks ago today, I got 4 vertebrae in my neck fused. Yeah. 3 joints, 4 vertebrae.
Thanks, Wayne. You're
No,
welcome.
it's the up and down. It'll affect that just a little bit, but yeah, looking down the side to side, it won't.
Really?
They're making me I don't wear this a lot, but if I'm out and about, he got on my case because I wasn't wearing it.
Yeah, you don't want to get back on the table.
And surprisingly, there was no screws loose. My wife swore that there was a screw loose somewhere in there. There's gotta be one.
Does he take this with him?
What's that?
Does he take that with him?
He did the X-rays on Monday, and there's no-
Jeff, you want to keep?
That's good.
You want to keepsake?
Sure. I do want it, yeah. That would be great.
You guys are planning. Hang on a minute.
It'll land on my head so many times.
Most of your work is commercial stuff, right?
That's all I did.
That's all you did? Okay. I want to do an expansion. I want to do a design then bid build. I don't want to do it. Or a bid design build. The remodel nearly broke. That was horrible. Remodels.
Yeah.
I want to expand the garage. My garage out. I've always wanted a shop. I mean, when we started looking for a house after we paid off our last one, I'm like, I don't care what you get, as long as I have a shop. That's all I care about. Moved here in 2016. I still don't have a shop. She keeps taking over more and more of the garage. And so I've been planning to build a shop plan, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why don't I just, there's lots of restrictions on exterior, separated buildings. I'm like, I can get by if I just expand my house, and I can I don't have to follow some of those rules. I like that.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's cheaper.
And it very well could be, especially when they run power and stuff like that.
Thank you. Good luck
I
with
don't know if I can
everything.
pay
Same.
three-
We'll see you around.
Yeah, I'll be
Awesome
around.
for me, three phases,
Okay.
but I could do it
Yeah.
three phases
Good.
here.
Generous,
Say,
the guy,
thanks.
the architect.
You're
that-
right, of course.
Okay, I will.
That's just-
Again, it's been great.
Yeah.
It really has
We're
been.
good.
He's mostly commercial. He designed all my turfs.
Oh, gotcha.
Very good.
All right, thanks, Wayne.
You bet. Have a good evening.
So this has been independent.
John?
Well, we're gonna see.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll.
Every week. Well, at least weeks I'm not fishing. Or recently.
So, yeah, I'm thinking I want to get the architect in, get an idea, first get an estimate, then get that design done, and he can say, this is about what it's gonna cost at today's market, right? So I can start planning for that. I mean, I just dropped $1 grand on that rebuild. Just on a rebuild, which is insane. But a lot of.
John
there's
Wallace, have you
mitigation.
seen what he's doing over there? I bet that's 300 plus.
Guaranteed.
It's
Gotta be.
But, yeah,
Is this still going?
did you show it? Oh, yeah.
Good.
There's mitigation in there, so, the flood mitigation was a big chunk of that. So that does make quite a bit of difference. And we didn't